Welcome to the Questionnaires podcast, where each week we source the best questions from Yahoo Answers and attempt to provide the best advice from.
Could I trap light with a box made of mirrors?
To.
Shouldn't ghosts be naked?
We're here to prove that every question deserves an answer. Joined with me this week, as always, is Marcus.
Hello, Tom.
And Damien.
Hello, Tom.
Marcus specifically said, I'm going to keep this one from you guys because you'll find out in the moment and you're just going to love it. And of course, it's something like naked ghosts.
Why is it that whenever I bring anything to the table, whether it's toilet humor, whether it's naked ghosts, you guys always say, of course Marcus brings the dirtiness. I don't always bring the dirt.
We're like, Marcus, we know the two topics that are no-go zones is toilet talk and ghost talk, okay? Nothing scares Damien more than ghosts.
We can establish from this, Marcus, that you have no respect for the living or the dead with the stuff that you bring to the podcast.
Don't care about either one of those. No.
Oh, clearly.
How's it all going anyway? We having a fine Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, the sun is out, stretching the legs, but it's pretty good. What about you, Tom?
That's good, man. I went for a nice walk down to the cafe, which is pretty much the only thing I can do, but that's okay. It's fine by me. Like, what else would you really want to be doing right now?
I think I'm at the point of ISO now where I'm trying to challenge my brain in weird and wonderful ways. So you guys obviously know there's been a lot of sport on at the moment. And currently with the AFL, what are they playing? 19 days straight to basically get the fixture in order. The other night I was watching it with my girlfriend, and you guys are obviously aware of the commentator Bruce McAvaney, and
he likes to love a bit of Bruce.
He likes to say "G" a lot. So, for example, for those who don't watch football, he'll say things like, "Gee, that was a good kick, wasn't it?" Like that type of stuff, right? So then last night I said to my girlfriend, "I'm going to count for this quarter how many times he says G in one quarter, right?" And it became this thing like we started cheering whenever he said G. Like we didn't care about the game. We were just like, we're all about the G-sposals. That's all we want to know about.
So you're trying to find out how many times he hits that G spot, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Bruce, keep looking for that G spot, baby.
So next thing you know, I had tallied up his G's for the whole game. I ended up keeping a running tally for the whole game. And so the games roughly now go for an hour. And he said 34 G's over the span of that hour. So approximately 1 G every 2 minutes. So that's just too many G's. That is too many G's.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
I started calling it our Lord and Savior.
Everyone's worried about the coronavirus being a conspiracy for the 5G, but the real G threat is the 2 Gs per minute. The Gs per 2 minutes from Bruce McAvaney. That's the real threat to our society.
Yeah.
That's right. Full that G-force, baby. It's in full effect.
G-force McAvaney.
So I'm definitely watching sports for the wrong reason at the moment.
Especially, Damien, if it was last night's game, that was a pretty exciting game, but yet you were just like, I'm going to focus on the commentary only.
Yeah.
It ruined the game for me because I noticed that when Bruce started talking, I was not focusing on the game. It's like I lost my vision and I was just purely focusing on what he was saying.
Some people say white line fever, like Damien was getting G-line fever right there.
I was obsessed. Right. That's what I've been doing. And you'll be happy to know, Tom, I've been keeping my eye on the sports around the world, how they're coping with what's going on. And I don't know if you remember, a couple of weeks ago, you mentioned, we were talking about how they're putting in artificial crowds, right? Sounds, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And you made the joke of that maybe one day one of the leagues will implement 3D, PlayStation 2 looking people
models
into the crowd. And Major League Baseball in America are doing that. Have you seen the commercials for it?
No. Are you serious? What they're actually
swear to God.
Going to have CG.
The commercial was there'll be cheering, there'll be booing, and oh yeah, there'll be the Mexican wave, and it's all these 3D polygon people fist pumping and waving and stuff. It's amazing.
Wow.
So,
I guess so CG artists would probably be a little bit out of work with the entertainment industry sort of on halt as well. So this is stimulating the economy. It's providing work. It's providing entertainment. I think it's a great thing.
And stimulating my G-spot. So we all win. We all win.
Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Well, look, it's good to know we're adapting to the situation, but the one thing that has remained the same the whole time is the questions and the answers that we're providing specifically from the website Yahoo Answers, which is what the show is all about. We try to provide advice to people that have issues on this website and help them on their way. That is how the show works. The other thing we do each and every week is we choose a theme to name the question askers, and it's my theme this week. And boys, I'm not sure sure. I mean, I'm sure you are aware of what this week was. There was a specific day this week that was a monumentous day in the entertainment industry, in music history. And I'm sure you're all very aware of it, that it was the 10-year anniversary of One Direction just yesterday. So I want you boys...
I was well aware of it. Yeah.
Obviously, I want you boys to name your question askers after your favourite One Direction member.
All right.
Beautiful. Thank you.
I can see it in Marcus's face. He's like, is there a member called Tony? Because I've got no idea.
No. I know some One Direction names.
When I hear the isolated audio later on, I'm going to hear Marcus's keyboard clacking as he searches One Direction members.
No, I've got one. And I'm going to go first because I don't want any of you bozos taking my names, all right?
Wow, aggressive.
Sure.
I would like to see if this is probably not even a name. I'm going to go with Zayn.
All right,
got
nice
it.
one. Nice one. He did technically leave the band, but I'll still allow it.
Didn't they all leave the band? Like, is the band still around?
Zayn they're on hiatus. Zayn is the only one who officially, he flew the nest. He's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Well, he got the right direction to get out of there. But anyway, Zayn writes in, how would you respond to this email from your parents suggesting that you take a break from visiting them? I live 600 kilometers away from my parents and usually visit them once a month for a quick weekend trip, usually a Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday morning, that sort of jazz. I also spent 2 weeks with them during a COVID-19 lockdown. I always thought that things were fine, although they drove me crazy during the lockdown and I probably was rude a few times out of frustration. They are aging and I am happy to do things for them that they can't do, such as running errands. After my last visit, which I thought was okay, I received the email below from my mother. I'm confused. How would you respond to this? Would you cease visiting them for the while? Now this is the email, guys. We enjoyed your last visit, as we always do, and you're welcome to come anytime. But I don't want to take advantage of your kindness. We don't need anything and we'll order food from the grocery store. Why don't you take a break, save your money, and enjoy your new home? Thanks, Zayn.
I think it's kind of nice what the parents saying, but I would take umbrage with getting it in an email. It's like, I'm not one of your employees. Why are you sending out this communication? It's so impersonal from your own family.
Dear son, I hope this email finds you well. It's like, that's not necessary. You can just call me.
The email started with, to whom it may concern.
And it ended off with kind regards.
That's right.
No. Love mom.
Hope this finds you well. Hope this finds you well.
No, they definitely would have to do this typical email stuff of being like, hope you're managing okay in this crazy world. Just remember we're all in it together. Unprecedented times, etc.
Yeah.
I think the reality is here, there is very much the chance that maybe he is babying his parents. Like, maybe they're not as unable as he thinks they are. Like mine, I've mentioned my nonno before, he's in his 90s. Even now, sometimes when I go to help him with things, he's like, I don't need help. Like, he's not angry about it. He's like, I'm not a baby. I've been on this planet for, I'd lived through the war, goddammit. I know how to carry something up the stairs. And I can understand that mentality. If you're still kind of mentally and physically sound to a degree, you don't want to feel like somebody's like, here comes the airplane when it comes to things.
Yeah.
So are his parents particularly they feel bad having Zayn do everything for them?
Well, this is what
feeling bad.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like. The email sounded like the parents were saying, "Hey, we feel bad you coming here. Save your money. Stay. It's 600 kilometers away. Stay home. Relax. We can take care of ourselves." But the Zayn took it as they don't want me to come around. They've had enough of me. So how would you have taken that email? Would you have taken that email as my parents don't want to see me for a bit? Or have you taken it as they're trying to be nice?
I would probably just assume that they're feeling bad that I'm doing a lot of things for them. I would genuinely think, at least for the relationship I have with my parents, I think they'd feel guilty for me helping out or me doing a lot of stuff. Wouldn't be that they wouldn't want to see me, unless they're selfish and they're worried about the virus and they're like, I hear that young people get it, don't show symptoms, and then kill us oldies, so I ain't going to have him in my house.
It's possible, but do you think, Tom, you would take offense to it if your parents communicated that to you through an email? I think that changes it.
Yeah, true. It's almost like getting a subpoena and getting someone serving you documents of information. It's like, apparently my parents don't want to to see me anymore. Like, it's so impersonal. So, like, the next step would be a subpoena.
Of course, like surely that's not their main method of communication. They're not currently just have an email chain that they're sending back and forth. I don't think, but who knows?
But you never know. You know how they sometimes are with, like, they've just got their iPad. They think it's the greatest thing in the world. And they're like, the kids are using emails, so I'm going to use email too. I think it might just be like they're trying to, like, get on their level.
True.
I was going to say, my parents would never email me. So if I got an email from my parents, I'd be more shocked that they managed to actually send out an email that wasn't like a chain mail or a virus or something like that. I'd be like, I'm impressed. All right, you don't want to see me? That's cool. You went to a lot of effort for this.
Marcus suddenly gets an email from his parents and he's just like, oh my God, someone's kidnapped and killed my parents and they're posing as my parents because they wouldn't send an email. It's a dead giveaway.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I would like to think these guys' parents are coming from like Tom said, a good place. Like a 600 kilometers, that's at least a 6-7 hour drive if you're fanging it down there. So maybe they're just trying to be like, don't feel like you have to be here all the time, which I think is completely fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I think he can still provide assistance without having to actually drive there. Like you were saying about like, well, they were saying that they can order things online and stuff. He could always just do that for them and stuff and just sort of organize some food, organize some deliveries, maybe get some, some meal delivery places. I'm not going to spruik any that we're not actually being paid to promote.
Yeah, I mean, I've done that. I've already done that for a number of different people. Like, I know I got some gifts for some friends. I was like, I'll just go on Uber Eats, type in their address as my address, and I delivered them some wine. And like, there's other things like meal things and all that. So you could totally do that. Like, pretend your address is their address, get it delivered there. Just make sure they're home. That was the risky thing because I was getting Uber Eats and then I messaged them like, are you guys home? And they're like, no. Just as I was about to click yes, I was like, oh shit. So
I just got 10 kilos of fish sent to your house. I hope you're home. The thing, I agree with what you guys said there, but where I stuffed up recently was my grandma needed a new radio, but a digital radio, right? Because she wants to listen to her Italian stories on the radio. Completely forgot about the part where with digital radios you still have to tune them. So I got it sent to her house, and then she's like, "Okay, this is good, but now what do I do with it?" I'm like, "Oh no, I'm sorry, Nonna, I can't help you."
I failed you.
She just wanted a radio just like the radio she had because it's the radio she's used to. Like by giving her something that's a little bit more advanced, you suddenly make it more complicated and you're doing her a disservice.
Yeah, I stuffed her up there, but it's all right. What can you do? That's life.
What's something that like, I mean, we can't actually go out. We're not supposed to be going out to any places that's unnecessary. What's something that would get you to go to your parents' house? Like if there was a reason to go there, what would it be?
Obviously anything medical, but let's take that away. Let's see what sort
take
of
out medical. They're healthy and happy. Everything's okay.
Yeah, they're happy. My mum used to get like all these cakes that like, or she still does get all these cakes. And I'm a big fan of those cakes, and I can't say I can get them myself. So she said to me, "Hey, we've got all these Italian cakes. We need to get rid of them like within the day because they're not good after the first day or two. I might venture down, risk it for some cannoli. You got to go for the cannoli."
I think that is the worst part about Italian pastry, which you hit on there, Marcus. Like I feel like a lot of store-bought sweets, they last a long time. Italian sweets, they've got a shelf life of 24 hours, and then they just turn into this soggy mess. It's like eating a wet napkin that's been doused in sugar. They're horrible.
I would say 12 hours, man. Not even 24. Like 12 hours. Like if you bought them at 8 o'clock in the morning, at 8 o'clock at night, they're already soggy. That's it. They're done. But those 12 hours are deliciousness.
I think cannoli specifically has like two stages of cannoli. There's the fresh cannoli that's like the custard is perfect, and the biscuit is still hard. Then there's the stage 2, which is like you get a bit of the sogginess. It doesn't break. It's not as brittle. It doesn't break and make a mess. Still good to eat. But then there is the soggy napkin where it looks like you've just wrapped up some custard in a napkin, dripped it in water,
some snot. Yeah.
Like if somebody dropped that off at my house, like the disgusting cannoli, be like, "What? You got a problem with my family?" Like I would take that as an insult. Like you're trying to start a war here. This is clearly
it's like a horse head.
A
horse head.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Same thing. But yeah, like Marcus said, it'd be food, right? To go visit your mums. Like that'd be the reason to get you out of the house.
What food?
Like
Damien?
That's the thing.
What food will get you?
Food in general is like, it's one of the acceptable things. You're allowed to go out and get food. And you could just say that, like, I went to go try and get this particular ingredients to make my favorite meal. They weren't available. You know, my parents live a suburb down. I can go grab some of that food from my parents.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that story about that guy who got caught driving like over 40 Ks for a butter chicken? He got fined. Did you see that story in the news?
I did.
I did.
The worst part of that article is they did not list the restaurant he went to, because I'm like, I want to know what butter chicken made a guy get a $1,500 fine and he drove 40 Ks for it. Like, that's going to be some real good butter chicken.
Yeah, was it worth
I
it?
kept up with this story, Damien, because I really wanted to know who is the Indian shop
Butter Chicken
that's
Bandit.
Butter chicken bandit. That's it. Yeah.
Why